Joe Hopkins here, and I've got a video today listing 5 reasons you should use Autotune, right? I know, controversial topic. Now keep in mind, by Autotune, I'm using that like as a generic term for pitch correction software. You can use Autotune, you can use Melodyne, you can use any one of a number of pitch correction softwares, and it all pretty much applies. So, hey, I'm just calling it Autotune, but 5 reasons you should use it, right? And if you watch to the end of the video, I'm going to put a link to this companion video, 5 reasons you should not use it. But right now, it's 5 reasons why you should, right? Let's start with my reason number 1. Fixing small mistakes, or things that just don't sound quite right, but it's small stuff. If you do any recording, you know that you get that vocal take that is absolutely exactly what you're looking for. You nail it. It's nailed. Or whoever you're recording, they nailed it. But there's 1 or 2 like little spots where it's maybe a little bit off, not a lot. I mean, you're not moving anything by a huge amount, but there's just a couple little things you want to fix on it. And you could punch in, have them redo like the one phrase or something, or take something from another take and put it in there. But every now and then you really like the way they sang it, even though it's not quite right. And sometimes when things aren't quite right, you can leave it and it's fine. And sometimes you can't. And when you run into that, where you just got a couple small mistakes in a take that's absolutely right, pitch correction lets you go in there and fix those 1 or 2 little things, right? And that's a huge help, especially when, like I said, you really like the way they sang it on that take. And you don't know if you can get it that good again. You can try, but sometimes it really is a lifesaver to be able to fix a few small things. And that's not a small reason to use this. That's a pretty big reason, in my opinion. Because it happens. It happens to all of us who record it. It happens all the time. And when you're using pitch correction software properly, that's one very good use for it, right? So there you go. Fixing small mistakes. 2, here's a second reason. And this is a reason that's going to be controversial, because this is what everybody thinks of when they think of Autotune. And that's an effect. You can use it as an effect. And I think it's overused to a degree. To a degree, it's overused as an effect. I think some people use it as an effect when maybe in the song they're using it in, it might not be the best choice for that, right? We all hear it and we're like, oh, Autotune, right? Everything's Autotune. But, you know, when Cher used it on, what was the song, Believe? Everybody thought it was pretty cool, because it is pretty cool. It can be a really cool effect when it's used as an effect on a song where it sounds good as an effect, right? I think it is overused, mostly because I think it's used as an effect on a lot of songs that maybe I think would sound better without it. And they're not using it just to fix their voice in this case. They're using it to give a certain sound. And sometimes I really do think it would sound better without it. But that goes along too with, you know, I've heard songs where I think the guitar has too much distortion. It might sound better with that dialed back some. I've heard songs where, you know, there's too much reverb or too much of any effect. And that's what you run into there. But it is good to use it as an effect. Definitely good if you use it properly. It's a reason you might want to have it. So let's see. 3, right? You can play with harmonies. And by what I mean with this is, let's say you want to record some harmony parts, right? Let's say you're recording you, or you're recording your friend or somebody, and you want to do harmony parts. But you or whoever's singing isn't very good at singing harmonies. Well, you can have them do a couple of takes and move the other takes up a third, down a fifth. You know, you can move them to wherever. You can play with it until you get something that sounds the way you want it to. Not necessarily, well, where the notes where you want them to be. Now, I'm not saying you use those takes altered like that. Here's where the cool part comes in. Have you ever noticed you're good at singing along with the radio, singing along with the singer on there? So if you're not good at harmony parts, if you record a second part and then you move all the notes to where you want them to be, then you can go back and sing your actual take along with that altered one. Now you can hear where those notes, where you want them to be, and sing along with it and do a better take. Now, that's, in my opinion, that's not cheating, because you're not altering a take and using that take. You're altering a take in order to sing along with it to get it right. And, you know, you can do the same thing if you can play the harmonies you want to sing on a keyboard, or play them on a guitar. You play it and then go back and sing along with that. But in this case, you're singing along with your own vocal take that's been altered to be where you want to be singing it. And then the one that you sang all the way through right is the one you keep. If you get what I mean. That might be confusing for some people. You're singing along with yourself. You're just, you know, altering the one to be where you want it to be so you can sing along with it. If that makes sense. It might not. That's a little confusing. But I think some of you get what I mean, right? All right, number 4. Surprisingly enough, I believe pitch correction can help creativity. And I do sincerely mean that. It can help you be more creative, like with the thing I was talking about with harmonies, or using it as an effect. Or even if you do want to just absolutely alter where your vocals are in some crazy way, it gives you options. It gives you ways to be creative with your music that you don't have without it. It's yet another tool in your toolbox that you can use. Right up there with playing around with EQ or reverb or, you know, distortion. Hey, distortion on vocals sounds really cool sometimes. And it lets you be more creative. It lets you do things you couldn't do before, especially when you combine it with other things. You combine pitch correction, like obvious extreme pitch correction, with distortion or something like that. You can get some cool sounds. You really can, and it does let you be more creative. So here's number 5, last one, right? MIDI. And I say that because a lot of pitch correction softwares allow you to take a track and bounce it to MIDI. And what's cool about that, I know Melodyne does. I have Melodyne. I don't know if Autotune does, but I know some of the pitch correction softwares do that, where you can play something on an instrument, on a guitar, or sing something and bounce it to MIDI. And what's cool about that is now you can turn it into a different instrument, right? You can turn it into a keyboard. You can turn your vocals into a guitar sound. You can turn your vocals into a trumpet sound or a horn or a symphonic thing, whatever you want. You can beatbox and then bounce it to MIDI and turn it into actual drums or electronic drums or whatever drum sounds you have on your thing, which is a really cool, if you ask my opinion, a really cool thing to be able to do. Because, you know, I've used it. I've actually done that because it's kind of fun to play something on the guitar and then turn it into piano or organ. And that's kind of cool, especially if you're a good guitarist but can't play keyboards. Or if you're a good guitarist but you kind of suck at bass. You know, you can play the bass part on the guitar and then bounce it to MIDI and turn it into like a synth bass or something like that. It can be pretty cool if you ask my opinion. So those are my 5 reasons. Now, right here, I'm gonna, in a sec here, have a link, right, to the companion video to this, 5 reasons why you should not use Autotune. So let's see, they should be coming up. I think it's this one down here. I think, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe this one. It's the one that says 5 reasons you should not use Autotune. See you in the next video. Peace out, baby. Bye-bye.